And welcome back to the Motorhome Matt podcast with me, Keith Gooden, and our expert, Matt Sibbs.
Hi, Keith.
Hello, Matt. Let's dive straight in, shall we? Easy ways to find things to do in our motorhomes or when we're out camping. I was taking a look at your Staycation Inspiration magazine, which I know is free online, but if you want a printed copy, you do have to pay for. And it was something that really attracted me. Were the applications, the apps as we call them now on our phones and computers. And it's very useful because in the olden days we used to buy a book and look it up, and you couldn't have it on your lap and all the rest of it when you were driving. But with these applications, these computer apps which are available on your smartphone, the whole world has changed, and you've got some favourites, haven't you?
I certainly have, yeah. There's loads and loads of them. The days of, we've got the book here. If you're watching the video, you can see the Extra Mile is a super book of restaurants and food places, with just an extra mile away from the motorway services. And there are apps that will help you find those places. But you're right, in the magazine we publish an article of my favourite apps that we love to use. And one of them I love it's so easy to use. It's called Packpoint. And I discovered this app by accident. Someone recommended it to me, and you tell the app where you're going to go and the activities based on that destination that you're going to take part in, and based on that it will create for you a packing list. So if you're going swimming, it will be the obvious things like your goggles, snorkel, swimmers, towel. So pretty obvious, but I love it because it means I don't have to think. We're going to the beach, right? Beach towel, bucket, spade, flip-flops, whatever it says. I particularly love in the essentials, which it always gives you, blemish stick, very useful, and condoms. That always makes a feature.
Is that for putting over your microphone when you're near the water? That's what you used to use in the olden days as radio reporters. A condom over the microphone to stop it getting splashed.
You'd know, Keith. But it always makes me chuckle anyway when I see that. So that's Packpoint. It's a brilliant little app. Lesser known, I would say. Culture Trip is another really useful app. And you put your destination in, and based on the destination, it tells you all of the places that you can visit around that location, based on experts that have submitted destinations to the app. Really useful. So if you're looking for places to go and things to do while you're in wherever you've told it you're going, it's a great way of helping you plan what you could possibly do.
So that's some of the planning and some of the apps related to that. By the way, do these cost money to download, or are they free?
Those two are free. There are some, as with any app, with certainly Packpoint, there's an in-app purchase option where I think you can export the list if you pay for it. I've never paid for it, but they are both free. In this article, I think all of them but one are all free. There's another app which I love, which is called CoPilot. And that's free. It's pretty basic if it's free, but you can type in the dimensions of the vehicle you're in, which if you're in a motorhome is really useful. Towing a caravan's even better. And then it will navigate you to the destination without taking you down some ridiculous back lane like Google Maps has done to us so many times. Every time myself and my other half go on a trip, we always end up going down a road that's got grass up the middle. It's not a successful trip if we haven't encountered grass up the middle of the lane. And you think, oh, here we go, and it's just cutting a little corner off, which is fine if you're in a car, but in a big motorhome, it can be quite stressful. So an app like CoPilot, if you've not got an expensive sat-nav stuck to your windscreen or built in the dashboard, this is a brilliant little app that means you can navigate somewhere safely. And I think even if you pay for it, it's not expensive. And it's a really, really useful app.
And the thing is, with those old style sat-navs that we did used to stick to our windscreen, I remember being in Cornwall once and driving, and the road completely disappeared because it had been built within the 2 years since I bought the sat-nav.
Yeah.
It was telling me I was going over fields, but I could see a road in front of me. With these apps, because they're on your phone, they do update, don't they?
That's it, yeah. Unless the app's been no longer supported, they're up to date and constantly updating in the background. And of course, there are apps to help you plan where to go as well. So in terms of where to stay, two of our favourites include Search for Sites. It's a website, and the users submit locations where you can stop over in a motorhome or camper van, and not necessarily just campsites. It includes campsites, but pubs, pub car parks, lay-bys where you're permitted to stop, school car parks. Schools out of term will often let their car parking area be used for motorhomes. All sorts of places where you can stop somewhere, often for free. Sometimes there's a small cost which you would pay the landowner or the host. Park for Night is another one, very, very popular on the continent. Thousands of locations all over Europe, and an increasing number of locations in the UK as well. Both free with an in-app purchase option.
And I noticed one here called Tripit, which is free, but $38.99 a year for the Pro version. So you do have to be careful what you're buying and be very, very aware what you're downloading.
Yeah, Tripit, though, you can save your tickets, and if you've hired a car, it will store lots and lots of information. So that's really quite a powerful app. So, yeah, some apps are going to cost more than others for sure, but then you would normally expect great levels of value at a price point like that, which Tripit you do get.
And would you use any of these apps while you're actually driving?
Well, CoPilot is designed to be used while you're driving. Yeah, it's just bearing in mind the laws about mobile phone use and sat nav use while you're driving. So, and of course they keep changing. So, and getting more and more robust. So, you know, if you've got audio on your nav and you can Bluetooth it through the stereo in the vehicle, then that's a sensible idea, and just navigate by audio. Or if you've got a co-passenger, let them hold the phone and tell you where they're going, if you dare.
Do they let you change the voices like they used to do a few years ago? You could have John Cleese directing you as
Yes.
Basil Fawlty and Alan Partridge.
I'm sure you can if you want to on some apps, yeah.
Helpful tools as well with applications. Things like the weather. I mean, weather, we've discussed this in past podcasts, is very important when you're motorhoming or caravanning. You want to know what it's going to be like tomorrow and the day after, and even next week. And some of these applications are actually very handy. You can geographically lock them, can't you?
You can, yeah. And the great thing with the motorhome, if the weather forecast is inclement, you can just say, well, let's follow the sun. So Met Office is an app that I use for my weather. BBC Weather is also really good. And often they give you different forecasts, depending on where they're getting their data. Personally, I just go with the more positive forecast, and let's go with that. But that's just me. And Met Office is a free app, and I use it all the time to get my weather. Flush is a great app if you need to find a public toilet.
Are we talking about toilets again?
Yeah, we're back to toilets, as we often are.
We often are in this podcast.
It's a free app, and it will take you to the nearest loo. How useful is that?
That's very useful.
Yeah, if you're not in a motorhome, you've got your own toilet, haven't you? But if you're in the car with the kids, dead handy. Dad, I need the loo.
It's a free app. Over £200,000 public loos all over the world.
There we are. What more do you need?
Another one here which has caught my eye, Motorway Services, GB. I mean, when you're driving along motorways, particularly ones that you don't know, then, being able to plan your journey as far as the services and, again, toilet facilities and maybe snack facilities if you've got children on board, that's important, isn't it?
And rest facilities as well, of course. So they are generally a secure place where you can stop. There's often a cost, though, to stopping overnight in the motorway services, but you can just Google it, of course, but this is a $2.99 app that will just take you straight to the nearest motorway services, or not necessarily the nearest. You might be planning, well, I've got 300 miles left in the tank, where am I going to refill? And finding motorway services can be useful for lots of reasons: refreshment, rest, fuel, and so on.
Yeah, because motorway services, they do differ in what they offer, don't they? Some are fantastic and 5-star, and some are basic, to say the least.
And often more expensive, of course, as well, if you want to eat there.
Let's talk about entertainment, shall we? And apps related to entertainment. We've got things like Spotify, the music streaming app, which is free if you want adverts, or you pay for a premium subscription and you don't get adverts, and you can, say, have a family subscription with up to 4 people on it. But a good tip is to download your playlists before you start driving. That way you don't have to stream with interruptions.
Nope.
It's on your phone, all the music, you just press the button and away you go.
Yep. And when you're on Spotify, look up the Motorhome Holiday Company playlist. We've published loads of them with different themes. Great fun. Some of them are hilarious.
Geocaching is one which you love, don't you?
We love doing it with the kids. So we went through a bit of a phase of doing this. You may have never heard of it, but geocaching is a free app, and thousands of people, thousands of locations, there are hidden tiny little boxes with a message in or a little treasure in, and they're hidden behind a road sign, under a rock, behind a tree. And the idea is you use the app to navigate you to this very specific GPS location where this geocache is hidden. And my kids love it. I love it as well. It's great fun, and it's an easy way of getting the kids out walking. We did it around our neighbourhood, and we were amazed. There are 5 or 6 within easy walking distance, hidden within just a mile or 2 of our home. You use the app to navigate you to this location, and then you spend half an hour while you're there digging in the ground, and eventually, I remember one location, it was magnetized to the underside of a road sign, a road street name. We just couldn't find it. Eventually, I think it was about 8 at the time, Ruben found it, and we unscrewed it, and inside with this tiny rolled up piece of paper with a message on. I don't remember what it said, and inside was some tiny little stones, and they looked like precious gems. Of course they're not, and somebody had just taken the time to plant it and put the location on the geocaching app. And if you look at it, there are thousands of them. So if you just want something to do, it's a bit of fun, it's completely free, and it's good exercise. It's a great way of getting the kids out of the house, or getting yourself out of the house. Why not? It's good fun.
Truly fun for the whole family. Geocaching.
It's what we love. And then you can go all out and go all trails. There's another one. Now, all trails is free, and has got 200,000 routes worldwide. So it's a global app for running, hiking, biking. It's trails, the way you can pursue these pastimes wherever you are. It's a brilliant app. And if you want, think, well, where can we go for a walk with the kids, or just with the grandparents, or just you? It's a great place to start.
And that's important, isn't it? Because this All Trails app, it solves the problem for you. You've turned up, you might be on a site, and you don't really know the area you're staying in. You've never been there before. You want to know what you can do, as you say, hiking trails, walks, things for the family to do. Instead of Googling this and that, it's there on the application for you on your phone, or on your tablet.
And you can filter the routes as well. So if you want a flat walk, you don't want it to be really hilly, and you tell it, and it will give you a flat walk. It's great fun.
Now, one which really has taken my fancy, one application, is this one, for when you're out and it's a starry night. I'm a bit of an amateur astronomer myself. Have you seen my telescope? It's called Skyview Light.
Why does that sound so wrong?
It's called Skyview Light. Now, there's nothing like looking at the stars and knowing, more importantly, what you're looking at. This is free. £1.99 for the pro version. That'll be without adverts, which, as an amateur astronomer, I would say £1.99 is worth every penny of it.
It is.
But if you're there on a starry night, what do you do with it?
Well, the best thing about this is you're sat there outside your motorhome or in the garden at home, and you look at the sky and there's this really bright light, and you think, what on earth is that? And with Skyview, you literally hold the phone, turn the app on, you get this lovely soundtrack as well, which sounds like a big blockbuster film, soundtrack. Hold it up to this light, and it will tell you exactly what that star is, assuming it's a star. It will also map out for you all of the star constellations, so you can start to see where Orion's belt is, and all of the other wonderful constellations in our sky. And it's great when planets like Jupiter, Saturn are getting close to us, and it will tell you where they are. So you can search them out, or you can look at something and go, what on earth is that? It's fascinating. We love it. We use it pretty much every week. I'm probably got Skyview open and just staring at the sky. I mean, on a clear night, it's fantastic. And
we have to appreciate it's unusual for a lot of people to be in what's known as a dark sky area. But when you're motorhoming or camping, you're more than likely to be in a darker place in the country. So you can see these things, which if you're in the middle of London or Birmingham or Bristol, are obscured by street lights and all the rest of it.
Yeah, that's right. And of course, the other thing that's happening in the sky is Mr. Musk keeps launching his satellites, and it maps those as well. So it tells you when the International Space Station's going over, and it plots its route, and it tells you the time it's going to pass over. So you can clock it, and then you can see it move across the sky. And if you are fortunate enough to see Starlink, Elon Musk's project going over, that's on there as well. It's really great, and it's an education, and it's we get the kids involved in it, and they love it as well.
And here's one for you naughty flat earthers. If the earth was flat, Where are those satellites going when they pass across the sky? They're just turning around and coming back again.
I think you've had too much coffee.
So those are some of your favourite apps. Anything else you'd like to add before we close up for the day?
These are just some of my favourites. There's hundreds of them out there, of course. And there are even more websites with useful, particularly when you're planning campsites and destinations on where to go. Google is definitely your friend. Don't be shy, I would say. Just go and do your research, get Googling, and try and download these apps. I'm always quick to download an app and try it and see if it's any good. And then form your own favourite list of apps. There are hundreds to choose from. Go for it.
Yeah, and it's the Play Store for your Android phone or the App Store on Apple phone. And generally, as you say, most are free to download. Or when you download them, if they're paid for, they do have a free sort of strata, whether it's the first month free or a couple of weeks, or they show you a few adverts. So don't be scared. Download them and plan your trip. Well, thanks very much, Matt, for another great podcast. Much
Pleasure.
appreciated. Thanks for sharing your views on the apps that can help us when we're out and about in our motorhome or caravanning. And join us again soon for another Motorhome Matt podcast.